Hi, and welcome to this AccredTix tutorial series. In this first video, I'm going to show you how to set up your workspace and create your first event. So, let's go. Okay, so to get started, all we need to do is head to accredtix.com and click the Get Started button in the top right-hand corner. Once you're here, it's going to ask you to create your workspace. If you've already been invited to a workspace, you can click the Access an Existing Workspace button, which is down here. Otherwise, we need to create a new one. Your workspace is your company home for all of your events. We strongly recommend that you don't use the name of your event here because if you want to create multiple events in the system, then you don't want them all showing up with one event name. So usually you would put the name of the promoter or the company that's running the event in this box. In the case of this demo, we're going to call our company Cool Events. Then you just need to fill out your other information in these boxes here. And make sure you agree to the terms of service. And then if you want to stay in touch with us and get all of the cool updates and features and more videos like this, then make sure you click that I want to receive marketing emails button too. Once you fill out all the information, click continue. Next up, it's going to ask you to verify the email address that you've just put in. I'm going to pause the video quickly while I grab the code. Okay, I've got the code, which I'm going to pop in here. This is going to take us to a new page called Complete Your Workspace Setup. This is a really important step where we pick the domain name for your workspace. So this could be anything you want it to be as long as it's available. We tend to say stick with your company name. So we've called ourselves Cool Events. So we're just going to do coolevents.accredtix.com. You won't be able to change this later without getting in touch with support. So make sure you pick something that is relevant and also something that you have the permission to use. Then you're going to want to pick a password for your account. I'm just going to pop something in quickly and then click Finish Setup. And that's it. Your workspace is created and we are ready to build your first event. Okay, so in order to make setting up your first event as easy as possible, we have put in a simple 4-step wizard. All you have to do is follow the instructions. We'll go through them quickly now. First up is the name of your event. Let's call our first event Summer Show 2026. And then you can select the venue that your event is located in. Or if it's an online event, you can click Online Event and then it will disappear. Or if you don't know yet, you can click To Be Announced. In the case of the venue here, I'm going to pick the Royal Albert Hall. And you'll see that. You'll just be able to select it. It'll search on Google. It'll find it. You can also see the details here if you want to double check the address. And the last thing you need to do is select the time zone for your event. This is going to be important for things like times that passes were collected or vehicle ETAs or stage times, etc. So make sure you do select the correct time zone. Once you're happy with all the information, click continue. Next up, it's going to ask you about the dates for your event. So with the dates, we've split it out into different sections that you can put things like your build, your break, your live days. If this is being used for sporting events, maybe you can put your individual match weekends or match dates in. Essentially, we just let you build out the dates with the description of what that date or date range is. So for example, with our summer event, we are going to have a build period. You'll see it's automatically put build in here. So we can call it a build. It's a date range because it's more than one day. So we're going to say that this is happening from the 1st to the 6th of August this year. And then we're going to have 2 summer shows that happen. So in this one, we're going to do show 1. And it's going to be a single day, and this is going to happen on the 7th of August. But then we also have another show, so we're going to add another date, and we're going to call it show 2, and make that happen on the 8th of August. And then finally, we need our D-Rig that is going to happen again for a date range for another week post the show. So that's going to be from the 9th to the 14th. You'll see now we have our date selections. This is going to be important later on when we come to things like vehicle arrivals, if we want to limit the dates that are allowed for that, or things like catering times, for example. These dates are going to help us put those together. Once you're happy with the date ranges, you can click continue. Next up, it's going to ask you what modules you want to use in the event. Everything is here that is currently available on our free plan and also on our pro plan. Everything is automatically selected. If you don't need something, you can just untick it or you can tick it back in. Just to note that accreditation and communications are our two required modules. Communications lets you send out bulk emails. It lets you upload knowledge base information for your teams. And of course, accreditation is the core part of the system where people are able to add their team members, which then feeds the rest of the modules in the system. Once you're happy with the modules that you've got selected, click continue. And finally, you need to pick some groups. Now, groups are not the individual companies, suppliers, artists, or teams that are going to be in the system. These are the overarching group that these teams will live in. We've given you some suggestions here. We suggest you keep it to 3 or 4 at the most. You can just click the ones that you want to use. So in this case, we'll use production suppliers, artists, and maybe traders. You can, of course, add your own groups. So let's say we have some media suppliers that we're going to be adding. You can add that in there. The groups are then going to let you set permissions at a group level, which feeds through to all of the teams in the system. So you can add more in later, but think about how you're going to want to differentiate the content or the permissions in the system. For example, if the welcome email that you send to all of your suppliers is going to be different to the welcome email that you want to send to all of your artists, they should be in 2 different groups. Once you're happy with the groups that you've got set up, click Create Event. You see here, it's going to build through the show, finalize everything, and congratulations, the event is ready. We now have 2 choices. We can either stay in mission control or we can open up the event. For the purpose of this demo video, we're going to stay in mission control really quickly while I show you something, and then we're going to head over to the event. So just going to click stay in mission control. And what I want to show you in mission control really quickly, you can also do this in the event, but I want to show you it here, is over in the event branding section. We're going to add some logos in and some event background images so you can see how the system can be white labeled. So I'm going to grab a logo for a dark background in here, and I'm going to grab a logo for a light background in here. And finally, I'm going to grab a background image that I want to use for the event. I can also set the primary color. In the case of this one, it's a summer show, so let's go with a nice yellow. And then you can select whether you want the page background to be the block color or the image that you've uploaded. I'm going to stick with the background image. And then because my image is quite light, I'm going to use the dark logo on top of it. Once you're happy with those, you can click Save Changes. Okay, I think we're ready to open up our event.